again and welcome back to my channel. If you missed the first episode, go back and have a look at that. I'll put a link in the description. I started this intersection. Now this is an intersection with the main freeway that goes straight through. That's the one on the bottom that was already there before I started the city, and a new one that goes over the top, which is actually going to be a circle city that goes right around. In the last episode I put down these ramps, started to adjust the heights. I've still got to do a little bit of adjusting, which I'll do now. They can go up a bit, I think. And in this episode I hope to join those up to the respective freeways. Just got to do a bit of adjusting and adding some pillars. So how I do these pillar adding is I use the Move It mod. I click on the pillar, I press Ctrl C, and then as you can see I'm moving the mouse around. The copied pillar is carried around, and I can place it wherever I want with a left click. If I want to rotate it around like I do in some places, what I need to do is right click on the mouse and drag the mouse around, and that actually rotates the pillar so it's facing the way you want it to be, whichever way that is. So I'm just adding a few more pillars on these lanes before I get started with adjusting them, and then I can also obviously move those pillars exactly into place so they're on the node and so they look really good, and then I think I'm just about ready to start connecting these to the freeway. If you like my videos, if you would like to subscribe, that'd be really wonderful, and also if you'd love to leave a like or a nice friendly comment, some sort of hint for, you know, you're not doing this or you could do that, make it better, something like that would be really appreciated. If there's something nice you'd like to say or something helpful. I'm also just adjusting the heights on the freeways to get them right. Now what I'm doing now is I'm just changing the direction. I live in Australia, and in Australia we drive on the left, and so all my roadways I like to have them so they're left-hand drive, and now I'm just going to connect these up to the actual original freeway. I'm using the height, I don't know what you call it, thing on the lowest setting, so that when I click page down it gives me a slight adjustment down or up, the slightest of the minimal adjustment that you can get. When I started my city, there it is over there. You can actually, when I do show you that in future episodes, you can actually see that I hadn't figured that out yet, and I was just doing straight up, straight down, and as a result, when you have a look at them side on, bird's eye view, they look fine, but when you look at them side on, they're very steep, unrealistic slopes. So I'm just trying to make it more realistic. I'm gradually learning. I've only been at this 2.5 months now. So barely. So yeah, I'm gradually learning how to do it better and better. Now I'm connecting these lanes up, the right turn lanes up to the freeways that they're going to be turning onto. But this rail line is slightly in the way. Let's just have a look at this train, see it pass under the bridges. Looks pretty good actually. Very happy with that. What we're going to do is just adjust the railway line. Yep, that goes through well. Adjust the railway line just out a bit so I can get this lane to touch the ground and then to join onto that freeway. So moving them over a bit, make it a nice and smooth curve, and then also using the Move It mod, I'm moving the ramp over, and let's go down so it's not quite at ground level, and then the last click goes to ground level. That just gives it a nice smooth and even curve. I like to keep my freeways relatively symmetrical, but you know, there are times when the terrain is different, so it's quite low here, and the other train was quite high near the train line was quite hilly, so it obviously does differ slightly. So I don't have my freeway intersections perfectly symmetrical. This one I just thought, oh goodness me, I couldn't be bothered doing anything special with that. I just clapped it on the end there. Clapped, I don't know if that's a word, but I'm just making it up. Okay, these ones again are a bit of a challenge because they go through the mountain, the hillside there, and join up to the freeway in the cutting. So I will have to adjust those levels down a bit. So I click on the nodes, click, 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 come on. There we go, click, and then Control H, and then I can adjust it, or actually don't even need to use, sometimes use Control H like that, there we go, but that didn't work so well. So sometimes I just use page down and do it manually like that. So now that's not too bad. I always find a bit of a problem when I join the bridge up to the ground level again. It always goes a little bit wonky, and I haven't quite figured that out. So if you have any hints on using the Move It mod to get a nice smooth angle, please let me know. Any expertise that you might like to share. But I'm getting it pretty good. I'm fairly happy with that. It will still work. The vehicles will still drive over it. They don't slow down. Even the trucks don't slow down. So it's not too much of a problem as far as the game goes. It's just I like to have it looking a bit better than that. Like I say, it doesn't have to be perfect, but a little bit better is nice. Now I'm just going to join this one up. I am obviously doing that back to front. As you can see, the lane arrow on the ramp is going opposite way of the freeway. Sometimes I just like to do that because from where I'm starting it from is where the point is, and then I like to join it on at the other end, and it just makes it easier. But then I just go ahead and reverse the directions by right clicking on the segment, and that reverses it with the exclamation point activated, which is the one that's next to the little question mark on the bottom of the screen. Now this one presented a bit more of a problem because as you can see, I've got it, you can't really see, but I have got it at the maximum height, but it is not as high as the freeway. So what I have to do is adjust those up there using the Move It mod again to give it a nice level curve. So I go back 3 or 4 there, and then I can finally connect it to the freeway and move them out a bit, give them a bit more room. If you click on the middle of the segment, you can actually adjust the curve in the segment. That's what I was doing just there. And then attach it on. Sometimes it's a little bit tricky to find the spot, and then go and reverse the direction again by right clicking with the exclamation point activated. I'm adding an extra lane as well where those ramps go in, so that as the traffic comes through it can merge. Now I'm going to do this ramp on this side, and I'm just moving the train line out a little bit so that I'll have a little bit more room. There's the entrance from the airport coming in, you just saw that in the bottom right. Now I'm going to add this lane in and across the railway line. I do sometimes either lift it up or just use the Anarchy mod, but then I find the Anarchy mod doesn't put in bridge pillars, so I have to go, that's why I had to earlier go and add those in later. Again, reversing direction as before, and now I'm just going to have a look at the heights, and as you can see it's almost touching there, so I'm going to lower that railway line a little bit, pull it down a bit and smooth it out as far as the curve goes in that direction, and then also click on the nodes to lower it. That's what I'm doing just there, lowering it down. Use page down to lower when you click on the node, and page up to obviously raise it. So I'm also going to lower the ramp a bit to make it look a little bit less wobbly and a bit more of a nice smooth straight slope. That looks really good, and that can go down a bit further. Yes, nice. And then over here we've got a little bit of room to play with. We can lower the railway line and lower the other one. Anyway, that's enough of that. Now we're going to do the same thing over here with the last remaining ramp. This can touch ground a little bit earlier because of the hill, and then try and get it on there. Ooh, that is a huge cliff. So what I'm going to do is adjust the terrain level. So just very quickly using the brush thing there, to terrain leveling brush, to lower the terrain of the cliffside there, which was basically a cutting that happened when I placed the freeway down, and then I'm able to actually connect that in. It's still a bit higher, so I just use page down to lower that. and I'll try and get that height the same as the freeway is about to join, and there we go, that is that. And obviously just reverse the direction, and that is looking pretty good. I'm happy with that. We've got all our right turn lanes actually connected. Just need to adjust the heights just slightly. So there I'm clicking on one node on the ramp and then Control H and then clicking on the node on the freeway to make them the same height, but they probably can go a bit lower, so I'm lowering them again as well. There we go, and that one can go, yeah, that can go up a bit, and that's pretty good. Right, there we go, that's all the right turn lanes completed. Now it's time for the left turns. So I'm coming at about halfway, taking a lane out of the other ramp, and I'm adding that connection in, then just using the movement mod to give it a nice realistic style curve, not necessarily realistic, but a realistic style, so it makes it look a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. Might do them a little bit shorter, those ones don't go quite as far. It's not exactly symmetrical, but that's fine. It doesn't have to be in my city anyway. Some people like to have them perfectly symmetrical, but I'm fine with a bit of differentialness, so that way we can have account for the different terrains. What I'm doing now is I'm just making the earlier part of the ramp and the later part of the ramp where the two are, making them 2 lanes each, and then I'm adding an extra lane to the freeway to make it 4 lanes just for a few segments. That is my toll booth in the blue cloud. So I'm just adding those on there. Okay, the next stage is to go 4 lanes all the way up, because that is the airport on ramp. Hopefully you're not getting too boz-eyed by that, but anyway, what I noticed, a couple of cars coming through already, because that freeway does connect at that other end, so I'm just adjusting the lane connectors, that's right, I almost forgot it there, the lane connectors, to make sure that the vehicles, when they turn left, they are in the left-hand lane, not like that red truck just then. So just making sure that they're going into their correct lanes, and then that way later on, if and when it does get busier, they won't be blocking each other and causing traffic jams. And then hopefully this area, this section, will continue to be free-flowing. At the moment I've got around about 100,000 residents in my city, and I'm hoping to push that up to 200,000 and beyond in coming days, weeks, months, year. And when that happens, I expect a lot more traffic, and of course I want there to be able to be, plenty of room for that traffic. So I'm just having a look, and notice it's 74%. I think we'll leave it there for now, and in the next episode I'm going to come back and fix some of my traffic problems. So thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, notification bell, all that sort of stuff. See you next time.